Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Good and Terrible Show. Her name is Mickey. My name is Travis. We have another fantastic episode. Back once again by popular demand, up in the place to be. We have the one and only Klyde Wright, founder of House of Klyde, coming straight to us from the West Coast.
I'm not even gonna throw it the West Coast. I'd be so wrong if I did that.
Probably would, yeah. But we have him for, again, we gave you a little foreshadowing in the last episode. We got a lot of positive feedback from the last episode. We know y'all loved it. So we brought him back, our local style expert here. We're actually going to be doing, if you remember the last episode, if you were watching, we're going to be talking about style icons today. We're going to be talking about celebrities that do their thing when it comes to the closet, okay? And we ain't talking about that closet. We're talking about their actual closet. So we talking about people who walk into the closet and know what they look like when they come out, know what they're doing, right? They know how to dress. They're well put together all the time. You see them on Instagram. You see them in the shade room. You see them wherever they're doing the daggone thing, okay? So we're here to talk. We're here to break down Klyde's top 10 most stylish celebrities, all right? These are the style icons. These are the people that are movers and shakers in the style game, the influencers that change and mold what style is and how y'all like to copy their styles. But we're not going to talk about that today. But without further ado, what I want to do, not to introduce Klyde because he doesn't need an introduction because we gave him a hell of an introduction last episode, and y'all know who he is. But in case you didn't watch it, this man is an artist in the full sense of the word. He paints, he designs, he sews, he photographs, he videographs, he directs, he does everything. He even dances. I just found out he was a dancer like right before we started recording this. I didn't even know that. I don't know what this nigga doesn't do. But he doesn't do hair. He did say that. He doesn't do hair. So everybody who was hoping that he might do hair because y'all saw the locks.
Not yet. We're gonna add that to the, that's 2022 coming. We're gonna add a little.
Nah, that's probably like 2027 or something.
I'm like that.
It takes a while. You don't just learn that in 1 year. Yeah. But anyways, so basically how it's going to work is we're going to work backwards, okay? We're going to go from 10 all the way down to 1. He already said he had 2 ready last episode, so the other 8 should be pretty easy for him. So we're going to go from 10 all the way down to 1 and break down, each one that's doing their thing in the style, in the fashion game right now. And we're going to discuss each one. At the end, Mickey and I are going to add our commentary, not only just within each 10, but at the end, we're going to talk about maybe some that he might have missed, maybe some ones that we didn't agree with, maybe some ones we would have added ourselves. And before we really get into the discussion, please make sure everybody like, comment, and subscribe down below. In the comments, tell us who you think are some of your favorite celebrity style icons in the game. Even feel free to give us your top 5 or your top 10 if you want to, or maybe even talk about some of the ones that you think we should have had in today's episode that we didn't mention. All right, now that we got all the intros out the way, we're going to kick it over to Klyde. And why don't you break down who your number 10 spot is to kick off the countdown, and start off your list here.
Number 10 on my list is someone who is actually on my list of people that I want to dress, and who is at number 10 because they really, for real, just started really coming up, and I've liked everything I see, and that's going to be Offset from Amigos.
Ooh, that's a
when
great
he pulled
choice.
up in the red carpet and with the Balenciaga look, and him being with Cardi B, and Cardi B making such statements, I feel like he's always held himself up besides somebody like that.
Yeah.
As yourself, not being above and beyond, not picking up some other stuff. Like, nah, he's going himself. To be me. Couture, me, still me. It's gonna be me, the same things. Like, I think I saw him, he had like this leather dress shirt, and it was the dopest thing ever. It was nice, but it was nice leather, but it was just a dress shirt, just a cut, a familiar cut, but he's getting there. I can see him easily like being a little more than that. But I like the Migos too. I like them as a group, and I like them and wanting to dress their like crazy energy and style.
And they seem very like open as far as like how you said with Offset to Cardi. Her style is just like she's been knocking it out the park, like especially this year. Like back to back to back. I'm like, dang, I think they were in Paris for Fashion Week. I was like, bro, she is not missing. Like, there's no look that I was like, nah. Everything was just like, wow. But him,
I don't know if I gotta.
To me, at least,
I'm just gonna be nice and say Offset is on my list, not Cardi B.
I got you.
Thank you.
But
you know what?
Next to her, like you said, he holds his own. And he looks like his like you said, like almost like where if it's not my personality and I put something on and I look uncomfortable, you could probably tell like you don't normally dress like that because you fidgeting or you just feel like it's not you. He looks like himself even if he's wearing something. So I think that's a great choice.
You know what? I'm not mad at this choice at all. In fact, I'm pleasantly surprised. In fact, I actually love this choice. The reason why I love this choice is because the Migos are actually one of my biggest fashion influences. I was literally just, and I've said this for a few years now, I was just arguing about the Migos fashion influence with somebody on Facebook, probably last week, I think it was. It wasn't even that long ago, literally a few days ago. Like they helped, I know other rappers wore Versace before that. Obviously they're not the first ones to wear Versace, but they definitely issued a resurgence, right? They helped bring Balenciaga to the forefront, like you were just talking about. The multicolored, different design button-ups, you know what I mean? The ones that kind of look, not in a bad way. They kind of look like blouses, but they're not blouses. You know what I mean?
Right. They bought that. They bought that summer bohemian style. I'm fly as fuck. I'm still a guy and type shit. Like they bought in resort wear for black men.
Yes, that's a good way.
They bought resort wear back for black men. You can
wear a good way to put it.
The bright colored knee-high shorts. You can wear the silk dress shirts and you can still be that nigga. You know what I mean?
The colorful outfits. I love it. Resort wear is a word that I don't even use and I love it. I'm about to start using that one.
I was going to say
perfect
Miami
way to describe it.
I was going to say vacation of mine because when you think Miami, you think colors, you think shorts, you think the butt because you dressy, but you still in the heat and it's still that warm weather. So you want to be fly, but you want to be fly in that summer. But resort,
because they're from Atlanta, but their style is very much not Atlanta. It's not definitely much more Miami. It's got some LA flair to it. You know what I mean? A little bit of New York flair to it. It's definitely not Atlanta style, and I think that's kind of what sets them apart. They really did influence their own culture. The only thing I don't like about this pick is because I actually thought I probably would have picked Quavo over Offset. But either way, I'm not mad at that pick at all. But both of them, I feel like will probably be deserved.
I'm telling y'all now, my list is going to throw some people off. So next person on my list is number 9. He's number 9, not because of his influence in fashion, because this list is about style. And that would be Kanye West.
Why would that throw anybody off?
Because some people think like, he's created a brand, what his brand has done, and blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I'm not talking about his influence in fashion. I'm talking about what he chooses to wear when he walks out the street.
Outside, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. What I am not a huge fan of where Kanye is mentally, but when I see him step out on the streets, it's kind of like someone who is, how can I put this? He dresses like the person who hates fashion but loves clothes, if that makes sense. It was like, I don't like what everyone else is wearing. I like what I like, and I'm gonna make what I like look dope.
Cool. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's just a jean and if it's just a pair of jeans, a boots, and a jacket, it's something about the shape or the texture or something about it that's going to be elevated. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the one thing I like about him. I can even talk about him early in his career. You know, you got to think Kanye West bought the schoolboy look. What?
Yeah.
You was not really one.
I was just about to make that point.
Yeah.
People forget
The
before. See,
influence.
the dopest thing to me about Yeezy, about Kanye, is that he's really kind of had two different fashion careers when you think about it, or two different style careers, two different style phases to his career. He started off, people forget, like, that early Kanye was the reason why that the schoolboy, the backpack look became cool again, right? He brought, when everybody was wearing the big clothes, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was wearing the super baggy, the tall tees, the, different things like that. He came out and said, it's cool to have your pants slimmer. It's cool to wear polos. It's cool to wear pink. It's cool to wear, Louis Vuitton. You know what I mean? It's cool to wear backpacks. He was the one that really influenced that whole genre change going into the early 2010s. And then once he started with the evil witch of the West, as I say, Kim Kardashian. But once he started with the Kardashians, he got his whole new phase where a lot of people were making fun of him because of the whole bummy type of stuff. Everybody was wearing like the holy, like clothes with the holes in them, the super baggy stuff with like sweatpants and joggers and different things like that. And everybody was making fun of him when they first saw it. But then lo and behold, like a year, 2 years later, every store in America is copying off of that style.
Yeah.
It was insane. You know what I mean? Everybody had that.
And what I like about Kanye West and his style is that it's very much him. You can tell that he's not following a trend or he's not following a look. This is really just how he chooses to dress. When he came out and it was the college dropout, it was the college dropout. It was that look beyond like the collegiate style, And then now once he left that look, I mean, honestly, I call it like, I don't know what to call it. The word is losing my mind, is not there. But like when I look at his style, I'm just like, yeah.
Like preppy?
Completely.
No, not now, not currently.
Completely.
No, I mean back then.
Oh yeah, back then it was preppy, yeah.
Yeah, it was preppy. And then we went through this grunge style rebel kind of phase that was more focused on, once again, textiles and texture and color. You know what I mean? Like, and then on top of his style, the influence that came from the style on top of a brand, and then the influence that came from that. So that's why he falls on that for me. But my next person is someone that I saw in concert. And when I saw her in concert, it was kind of like, bitch, my life has came 360 now. And that is my girl, Erykah Badu.
Oh, wow.
Style. Erykah Badu, let's talk about accessories. Like what? Like have you actually got into Erykah Badu's look and just been like, okay, boom, forget the clothes, accessory. Let's break down her rings and what she uses to accessorize her stuff, her body piercings, anything she chooses to add that's actually not a part of the clothing. You know what I mean? There was a whole point when she had wore the hat, and then she had like this sculpture piece that was on top of the hat, and I was like,
and she's just rocking it during the concert like it's nothing. Because I saw her in 2019. I've seen her 2 times. She's my favorite female like artist. Style is definitely a part of that. But it was almost like a prism type shape. It had to be at least 30 pounds. She's wearing it on her head. She had the ring that was probably like 10, 12 inches. And she just on the beat machine. And I was like, she had on stacks. Like, it was just like.
Gotta be the strongest neck in Hollywood.
Like a fashion show within a concert. And you just like, how is she wearing all of this? And she just rocking. I'm like, dang. Like, how do you do this? But it exudes her. The nose rings. She had this one nose ring I've been trying to find. I can't find it.
For her, for everyone else in the category, it's clothing. But for Erykah Badu, it's adornment. It's her accessories and how she chooses to accessorize who she is and what she chooses to wear. She will wear an oversized muumuu with some fucking, but wear a dope ass belt. It's amazing how she chooses to accessorize. And honestly, that's probably the focus of when she shops. Like, I want to find
I was just thinking that
handmade accessories. I'm just shopping and looking for people who make dope rings and finger caps and nose piercings. I'm talking to welders and jewelry makers to help me just piece little ideas together that I like, because at that point, what Erica doing isn't something that you can just go cop. You know what I mean? And that's what makes exclusive. It so dope. It's not copable. You just can't be like, oh my God, she is wearing this by this by this. Let me go buy it. No, you're like, girl, what the hell you got on your head?
Erykah Badu's wearing all one of one. Like, you cannot go unless she's selling it on the Badu market, the market she has on her website, which she does have some stuff she sells, but most of the stuff that you see her wear, unless you, like you said, you go to a welder's like, can you make this for me? But then it's like, how much did she pay to get these pieces? You know, the supplies, the time it probably took to create it. Nobody's gonna be able to go out and be like, I want this and spend $3 grand.
I was gonna say she seems like the type that's probably really plugged in with a lot of different like street vendors and stuff, people that are literally like handcrafting a lot of this. And you know what? I actually like this pick. It made me think. It made me think about it, because at first when you said it, I was like, because when I think of style, like Erykah Badu is one of the first names that really jumps off the page to me. More so because, like you were touching on, more so because of the clothing. When I think clothing, like when I think women's fashion, like she's not one of the ones that like I would immediately point to and be like, now she's really, you know, got it going on. But I think when I thought about it for a second, I think you're absolutely right. It is the accessories. You know what I mean? I like the pick because it's different, right? Because style isn't just even myself. I allowed myself to get into a box right there. Style isn't just about clothing. 90% of style isn't what you wear; it's how you wear it, right? When you use that definition, and apply it to Erykah Badu, that's absolutely right. Because you could put the exact same outfit on 9 other women, right? And they're not going to accessorize it the same way. It's going to look horrible, I feel like, on at least 7 out of those 9 women. But when you put it on her and she knows how to put it all together, it comes off looking fly, right? So I think that's definitely the epitome of style. So I do like that pick. I probably wouldn't have put her on my list, but I like the pick.
But I say, yeah, my picks are based on like my idea of style, which is based on like, I feel like all these people would dress this way if they weren't famous and they didn't have money. That's what I'm basing off. I'm like, okay, if you just the kind of bitch that like, girl, you really can't dress, you just got a lot of money. That's one thing. But it's like, no, I definitely feel like these people, the next person will probably be a surprise to people, but he is on my list because of his casualness too, of how he chooses to present himself in certain spaces. And that's
before you announce it. I was gonna say before you announce it, I was gonna say that kind of touches back to our last episode about like what you were saying before, where like style really does come from the streets, right? So when you're making a point about how they would wear even if they weren't rich, the most stylish looks start in the ghetto, people that don't have money. You know what I mean? So that's where you learn your style. You gotta, when you before you get rich, you learn how to dress yourself then. And by the time you get rich, you just add money to that equation, and you already got that foundation, and you're good to go. But continue.
Yeah, my next pick is a hometown hero. That'll be Pharrell.
Excellent.
I chose Pharrell. Well, first of all, I chose Pharrell because of his casualness with his style. And what's dope is that Pharrell is one of those guys that he's small. And because he's small and he has that frame, it's like the dude can wear anything, pretty much anything. But still, what he chooses to wear and how he chooses to dress his body is one thing that I like. Like, for instance, when he hit the scene, and y'all remember he had that big ass Elmer Fudd hat? The thing that got me with the hat was not the hat, but the proportion of someone his stature choosing to wear something like that of an elaborate hat, okay? But let's be honest about how influential that moment was, because everyone started wearing the hats after that. It wasn't even that hat that people were going for. People were just going for the hat. And not only
including Erykah Badu.
Erykah Badu, because Erykah Badu popped up after that with the hat with the sculpture on it.
See, I peeped.
So it wasn't even the hat and the fact that he wore the hat. It was how he wore the hat. He casually wore the hat. The style, the way he styled it, it was casual as hell. But the reason why he's also on this list is that, in my opinion, he was one of the best dressed people at the Met Gala.
For this year? I gotta Google it. Keep going.
I can't remember the girl that he came with, but they basically had on
his wife, right?
Matching looks. That was his wife, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they had on matching looks, and it was one of those things that was like, that's how you do it. That was one of them things like, okay, yes, the theme. There was a theme, the Met Gala. That's how you do it. That's how you elevate that dress shirt, dress pant that men are always stuck in. That's how you elevate the suit. That's how you elevate a look that's done 20 million times on the red carpet for a guy. Like,
because guys really don't get that creative on the red carpet. I'll be the first to admit, I really hate watching red carpets at all, because I'll be like, it's gonna be, other than the women's stuff, it's gonna be the exact same look for them, tuxedos,
like black suits.
You know what I mean? Like, who are you wearing? Oh, who cares? This looks the same as every other. You know?
Same as last year. Yeah.
But I mean, Pharrell low key has been stylistically relevant for the last 20 years, if we're being honest. Billionaire Boys Club, the ice creams, right? Niggas didn't start wearing Bapes until him. You know what I mean? He was really the first one to put on Bape. I know Soulja Boy's gonna say he was, but Pharrell came first. So
Soulja Boy, if you tell Soulja, if you ask Soulja Boy did everything first.
Everything,
bro. I made Bapes cool. It's like, well, Pharrell kind of made them cool first.
Like, I'm the one that
maybe where he's from, but where I'm from, you know, where Pharrell's from,
Soulja Boy the type to be like, I put Jesus on. I'm the one who told Jesus to go preach. Like,
I was on the cross first, face ass.
I was the one right next to him. Nobody talks about me.
I'm the one who told him to go ahead and go to heaven. No, you did not.
No, you did not. Stop. So next on my list is someone who has been making some statements lately as far as the red carpet.
Wait, I lost count. What is this, number 6?
No, we're on 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I lost count too.
Because you said Offset. You said Kanye. 10 was Kanye. 10 was Offset. 9 was Kanye. Then you said Erykah Badu. Then you said Pharrell.
So this is 6.
Okay, yeah, this is
Number 6, coming in strong. She is a red carpet stomper, and that's Zendaya.
Oh! I didn't think of that, but you're absolutely right.
I didn't either.
Zendaya does it for me.
Yes.
She does it. And I feel like what I love the most about Zendaya is knowing that she's the girl that's going, when she puts the face on, she's the ultimate like black girl energy that's giving like, oh girl, when I straighten this hair out, beat this face and put on this dress. But when I put the curls in and I put on some jeans.
Right. Baby, and if I go natural, I'm still, because she's gorgeous. Just waking up.
Gorgeous. And see, the thing about it is,
style. Let's go for the style part.
Right.
The reason why I chose her was how knowing who she is and how she chooses to present herself on the red carpet. I'm choosing her because of style on the red carpet. She works with stylists that know what they're doing. She works with people and she goes through the right places and she goes the right ways. So every time she hits the red carpet, if it's not a moment, the moment, it's almost perfect for her.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? She might not have been the best dressed person there, but girl, when you saw her, you can be like, girl, they stumped it out the park.
I mean, she's routinely one of the best dressed at the Met Gala, and almost every red carpet she goes to, she's routinely like put up on there as like one of the top 10 best. But the secret sauce to Zendaya is honestly, a lot of people, get on her because she's so slim. When you talk about like women these days, almost every famous woman that's a bombshell has like, this killer body, right? She doesn't really have that, but she uses it to her advantage. She almost puts a positive, spin on it. It's a great thing for her because she's really got the ideal body when it comes to fashion, right? And like
Fashion,
the
yeah.
runway type of physique, even though she's not really doing runway, but when you think about it, the red carpet is a runway. The way that she's built, she's tall and she's slim and lanky, not in a bad way. You know, I love Zendaya, but she's lanky in a good way to the point where like clothes drape her perfectly every time. You know what I mean? And anything she wears it fits perfectly.
Right. And with that, that goes into play because she works with a lot of great stylists. One of the stylists that she worked with is Law Roach, which is someone that I've been watching for a while. But to back off of that, when you're working with stylists and you're pulling pieces directly from designers, you have to understand that those pieces are altered. You know what I mean? Those pieces have to be altered in order for that celebrity with that particular body to wear that piece. You know what I mean? That's why when you see Cardi B wearing these iconic designer pieces, what makes it so iconic is that these pieces of these works of art were originally created for people who are size 0 and a size 2 maximum. Then you have someone with Cardi B's shape,
right,
wearing this item that will let you know that that item was tailored for her body. They took that item and reconstructed it and made it for her body. That's an amazing thing to have done as a stylist. That's why you really don't see a lot of people pulling out the looks that she's been doing, because you got to have that connection. On the flip side of that, back to what you said about Zendaya's overall body and her physique, it's very model-esque. So it's so easy for someone like her to be able to pull a piece because it probably doesn't need alterations at all.
That's
so
what I was saying, yeah.
Take it, wear it, do her thing in it, and they can take it back, do the cleaning process that they do to it, re-steam it, and call it a day. You know what I mean? But other people, they will have to alter, and most people will be like, most designers may not want to give their piece to be altered for you to wear it, and then for them to have to redo it. They might not like, you know, it may be their, I mean, I'm seeing it like me, girl, you might approach me on the wrong day. I'm like, no, girl, I ain't doing it. And you might catch me on the right day, like, yeah, girl, I got you, go ahead. It's still a designer thing, though. It's the relationship that the stylist has with the designer versus who the actual celebrity is. But that's why I chose Zendaya.
I love that pick. And I'll tell you what, I wasn't even really checking for Zendaya at first, but I'll tell you what made me wake up to Zendaya, actually. It wasn't even a red carpet or anything like that. When I saw the Versace on the Floor music video by Bruno Mars, and Zendaya was the star. If you haven't seen it, go watch that video. That's one of the best music videos of the last 5 years. I don't care what anybody says. One of the best songs of the past 5 years. But the video as well made it even better. And Zendaya slayed the hell out of that role, because I think she had like just turned like, I don't know, 20 or 21 or something. She wasn't that old. You know, she was legal. She was legal. But
this silver.
Yeah, she killed that dress, and that made me like readjust my seating. And I was like, wait a minute, this is Zendaya. Like, wait, maybe I need to start paying attention.
That was that grown up. That was that like, baby, I'm grown.
She got grown real quick in that video. I was like, okay,
real quick.
That's how you do it.
My next
number spot, 5. We halfway through.
Number 5 is, you know, most people might think that her sister's going to be on the list, but I'm like, no, the little sister's on the list, and that's Solange.
I knew it. I knew exactly what you was about to say.
Beyonce is not on this list, y'all.
Ooh, don't say it out loud.
I said it out loud. Beyonce got a stylist too that pull her looks and put her together. I follow him on social media. It's cute, but Solange is on the list because I like people who dress.
That was like, oh my Lord, Jesus.
Oh, we about to get canceled. We about to get canceled.
Like this, like, oh Lord.
Oh no. Oh no.
I love Beyonce. Look. Let me tell you something. Before we go forward,
thank you everybody for watching this week's episode.
I am a Beyonce fan. Am I part of the Beehive? No, I'm a part of the Hive that's across the street from the Beehive. I'll pull up if y'all need me, but I'm not the first person there.
Right.
You know,
I would agree. I'm Beehive adjacent. I'm in the Beehive, but I'm hanging by the door in case something happens. So, you know what I mean? Like, I love Beyonce too. Beyonce's been my wife since 1998 or something like that. So I'm actually a little bit upset that she's not on the list. But
I think your tag said Chloe Bailey's husband. Which one is it?
Yeah, but then when she got married to Jay-Z, I couldn't, like, Jay-Z's my boy. You know what I mean?
It's giving adultery because you just said that's your wife and you got a whole.
I said she's been my wife since 1998, but we had to break up because Jay-Z, he's got $1 billion. He was gonna pick her. She was gonna pick him over me. So I was like, all right, I'm not even mad at that.
I don't feel like she made a bad.
You know
So it's like
no, it's J and B. It couldn't be like Trav and B. It didn't have the same ring to it. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel you.
After that, then I had to go to Meg Thee Stallion. But then, you see what happened with, that loser. We're not going to mention his name, whatever. But now, so, me and Chloe just made it official this year.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I chose Solange because me personally, I have my favorite kind of style is someone who is obsessed with an era. Someone who is obsessed with an era through their style and through their essence. It's someone who feels 1960s. They feel 1970s. They don't just pull. I was gonna
ask, what do you feel like? Because when you said obsessed with an era, in my mind, I thought first thing was 70s, from the hair, just the elegance, like how she poses, the music, just the vibe, but also 60s too. But you see her and it just looks like, wow, like how she presents, that looks like this is her and it's not like a costume. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. Am I tripping, or was I the only one who, when you said obsessed with an era, I immediately jumped to the 20s? I be getting roaring 20s vibes from Solange, for real.
We'll see what that goes back to an era influencing an era. You got to think the 70s. Of course, they were going back to the 20s because that would have been the vintage for the 70s.
Okay, but they were also very different styles.
Right.
I don't really get the 70s vibe from Solange.
Right, but they brought in the influence of textile. It was the same influence of textile, and the same influence of life. That's what made the 20s and the 70s kind of the same. It was the partying. It was the lavishness.
Oh, okay.
It was prohibition then and the drug epidemic then. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was the
20s did have in the 20s they did wear
a lot of tassels and
glamour, tassels, like the showpiece. Okay. Yeah.
But black people weren't doing nothing in the goddamn 20s.
Except getting lynched.
So,
but never mind. We're not gonna. This episode got dark real quick. But anyway,
right. So Solange. I also what other thing that I do like about Solange is that she is herself within her style. Sometimes you forget that she's Beyonce's sister and that they kind of share the same upbringing because she is so much of herself and comfortable with herself that once again she's one of those people that she's on here not because of the clothes she chooses to wear, but her style is an essence. It's a vibe. And that's also another thing that goes in style. Your vibe is a style.
Yeah.
Sometimes as soon as you pull up, people are just like, oh, I just like your vibe. That's a part of
individuality is also a style too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for her. I feel like as if Beyonce was my sibling, I'd be like, damn.
I was gonna say, imagine how hard it is every day to have
from my sister, but she does it beautifully. But she doesn't take, how sometimes you can see with siblings, y'all are trying to,
rivalry.
Better. They complement each other. You can see sometimes where, if you put them both together, you can clearly see, if they both went to a red carpet, it might have a similar feel, but they're both themselves in their own right.
They're very different,
but the task of saying Beyonce's my older sister, and now I'm an art,
there's people every day. There's everyday people who have sibling rivalries where you feel like you kind of live in your brother or your sister's shadow. You know what I mean? Or maybe they have a job that pays $10K more than you, or maybe they got the nice house on the end of the block with the white picket fence, or maybe that one's wife is a little bit prettier than yours or something like that. You know what I mean? There's people every day, non-celebrities, who feel like they live in their sibling shadow. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you're Beyonce's little sister, the biggest woman on the planet. You know what I mean? Come on. I get it.
I go lay down. You know what? I'm not even.
Just give it up. You know, but she does do a really good job of holding her own, very much an individual. Don't kill me out there. I'm not a huge Solange fan. Everybody watching at home. I'm not a huge fan of the music or the style. But again, this is Klyde's list, and we gonna rock with.
All right, so I got 4 left, right?
You got 4.
Come on, 4.
You gotta come strong. This is top 4.
Top 4 is serious, okay? Because these top 4 people are undeniable.
And
I'm a little surprised you had Kanye so low. I'm not gonna lie, because he probably would have been in my top 5.
We about to find out why.
Top 5. You mustn't hear this top 4. Coming in top 4 at number 4 is still, in my opinion, the flyest rapper, Fab.
Oh yeah, what? Come on, easily. I'm at he's 4.
Fab, let me tell you what the kind of person Fab is, and I got this off of Fabulous because I was a Fabulous fan and I just like the way he dressed. Fab is one of those guys that he shops 24/7, 365.
That's me.
You can go on his phone right now and open the web browser and open the tabs, and it's places where he's shopping with things in the cart because he thinks smart when he shops. When I see his style, and I see not even his style, because style will be, how you choose to put things together. We're talking about actual pieces that he actually takes the time to find. It's not wearing the new collection that just came out. It's wearing something vintage as hell that looks brand fucking new. It's about being yourself, right? Because that's what style is about. Style is about being yourself within your element. The form is following function, and I'm still thinking articulately and intellectually about what I choose to put on my body. The only way you can see Fab as like the flyest rapper is if you actually are looking at what he's wearing and know what it is. If you're looking for a label, or you're just looking for some dumbass monogram or whatever the kind of shit, then you're not looking. No.
I completely agree. This is my favorite pick of the show, and I was waiting for it. I honestly didn't know if you were gonna put him on here, just because I know you're not like as plugged in. I know you're a hip hop fan. Wait. Hold on, because I know Klyde. I know he's not like as plugged into hip hop as like some of my other friends is a hip hop head. So I didn't know if like Fab would have kind of slipped under the radar or not for Klyde. But I'm super, super glad and proud that he's on it. Everybody and their mama who knows me knows Fab is my biggest fashion influence, whatever. The thing that I love, first of all, 2 things that I love the most about Fab. There's really 3, but he already touched on one of them, which is basically that he wears stuff that's like really unique that you're not gonna find other niggas wearing for real. But the 2 things other than that I love the most about Fab is, number 1, as somebody who also shops a lot, as like a fly nigga's dream, he basically did like the upper echelon chess move that you can make for a fly nigga, is marry a stylist. Like, if you already fly, listen, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if there was like a bomb woman in my life that was also a fashion stylist, that'd be a risk. That would be
and
a
now
risk.
The only thing. And the only thing they really bond over is clothes. And it's not about buying clothes. It's not about buying clothes. It's not about shopping. It's just about, boo, did you just see this come out?
Yes.
For real, they came out. Let me see. Damn, that shit look good. We need to go cop that shit. Like, all right, we just gonna go and look at it. And that's our date. We going out and go shopping together.
Top tier. Like, and then the second thing.
Resources.
That's a great transition. That's what I'm getting to. Resources. When you talk about resourceful, obviously half of Fab's career was not really during the social media era, right? Social media has been around for a long time, but it didn't really start popping off until around like the turn of this last decade, right? Like the 2009, 2010, 2011. That's when social media really started popping off. So half of his career that he's been relevant has been in that era. And so I bring that up to say, when you look at this dude's Instagram, there's not a lot of male celebrities whose Instagram I continuously check on a weekly basis. When you look at this dude's Instagram, it's not just the outfit. And this is where I get it from, because a lot of people have commented on some of my pictures about this. The backgrounds of the photos be coordinated with the outfits. That's who I got that from. Everybody who has asked me that on my Instagram before, like, how do you always like playing your background so well. I got it from that nigga Fabulous. I'm not ashamed to say I jocked that. Like this dude is so smart. He will literally. There was one picture I saw. I can't remember the exact car or whatever, but there was a car that was like black and orange or brown and orange or something like that.
That's
he had like the door open and with the outfit, with the shoes that was matching the car. I'm like, this nigga is different level.
This nigga different.
Don't but this is someone who probably thought about that and pinned it in his mind and then pulled it out later.
And then resources, like you said, because he has the tax bracket and dollar amount to say, I'm gonna rent this orange and black Lamborghini for this specific photo shoot. I'm gonna take these pictures, and I guarantee you, he has so many clothes. If he's like, even just think about like his shoe closet, it's probably like mountains.
Insane.
It's probably the size of my apartment.
It's right. It's probably like a townhouse worth of shoes that he could just have every room just filled up. But I remember the outfit
and organized.
Because I saw that picture and I was like, damn,
that picture was insane. That's I do. Once I saw that picture, I was like, it's over for everybody. that picture sealed the deal. And this is a prime example, Mickey, what you just brought up about his shoe collection. About it's not what you wear, it's how you wear it. One of the biggest shoe collections, I don't know if it's still the same, because I remember in the news he had gotten robbed or something like that. You know, somebody had robbed part of his shoe collection. But one of the best shoe collections in Hollywood is Chris Brown. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but he's got a huge shoe collection. He's posted pictures like online before about like a whole like basement that's basically just his shoe closet, right? And don't get me wrong, like Chris Brown is an okay dresser. You know, he's got like some style. I'm not saying he's a bad dresser, you know, but he's not on my list either. And that's what I'm saying. You can have all the shoes in the world, but unless you putting it together the right way, he's probably got as many shoes as Fabulous, if not more.
If not more.
But if you're not putting it together the right way, you don't make the list. It's not the same effect.
Execute it, because you can have the latest Jordans, the latest jeans and shirt, and like you said, for Erykah Badu, even with men, you know, accessories or with chain, whatever. But if you don't know how to execute it and then put it together, and like you said with Fab, and like because all three of us are photographers, we're visual people. So when we see a visual, we be like, I don't know about y'all. I will throw my phone. I was like, this dude.
But no, for real, it's him taking the time to really think about like how I present myself, how I look, and how I can make what I decide to put myself look even doper. Oh, get the matching car with the shoes. Oh, and for him, it's probably. And it was honestly for him, it was probably like the thoughts came together. It was kind of like, it was like,
oh, this is simple. I got this car.
That was Wednesday. That was Wednesday for him. Like Wednesday,
we just a regular day. Wasn't even no special occasion. But if this is number 4,
right,
I am super surprised and super anxious to see who the hell the top 3 are. If Fabulous is at number 4 spot.
Number 3.
I'm waiting.
Number 3.
Better be good.
Teyana Taylor.
Oh,
okay. I would have switched them, but okay. Because Fab's been doing it long.
The reason why I give Teyana Taylor is one. Sorry, Teyana Taylor's a girl.
And
it's how Teyana Taylor chooses. Ooh, I can't even explain it for me. Teyana Taylor, it's a body of work for me, because it's about who she is and where she's from first. Because once again, all these people are on this list because they will be fly if they didn't have money.
Right.
Period. Right. They will be fly if they had money, if they didn't have it. So one is who she is and where she's from, the influence that she has on that community, and then how she chooses to present herself as a woman coming from that community and those group of people, and how she represents them. She will dress it up. She will dress it down. What? She be looking fine for dudes.
The body of a sculpture. Like, oh my gosh.
And then to me, for her, it's like, because I like the like if you go way back, I'm telling my age. If you go way back to when she was on Super Sweet 16, when she did the skateboard party, when she had just gotten time with the Neptune with Pharrell, then it was like that was like the skater era. So it was like the
that was the was it the tutus and stuff then? What's it?
It was
Hot Topic,
Dunks, Hot Topic. It was the bright colors. It was doing a lot of stuff. That's the Tiana Taylor that I meant then when I was younger. And then from her to now, she's evolved, but she still has that tomboy vibe, right? But then when she switches and goes super feminine and she's in like a gown and her body is amazing and she's had 2 children and the woman don't look like she even. I'm like, you had 2 kids. Where?
When they make that post about get you a girl who can do both, she is the epitome of that.
She is both.
And again, she's also back-to-back picks. Her and Fab are both from New York. I said last episode, the best people are from New York. I'm just saying. But I have said before that I've been on record. You could find it somewhere on my Facebook if you search. I have said that she is the female Fabulous. I have said
she is the female Fabulous.
But I probably would have switched them because Fab has been doing it consistently for about 2 decades versus Tiana, who really, she's been famous for a while, but been under the radar. She really just kind of like jumped off maybe 2014, around then, something like 2013, 2014, something like that. But no shade, she absolutely would be in my top 5 as well. She deserves it.
She made her mark in that short time because she has
absolutely.
She had her own collections, different shows. She's walked in shows. Like to have her walk in the show, it's like I'm putting my clothes on that body, on that. She's like a walking sculpture.
Absolutely. And I said, if anybody at home watched our video we brought in Nas for, the one gotta go, when we talked about the New York groups, I said the people from Harlem, she's from Harlem. Yeah. The people from Harlem, out of everybody in New York, dress the flashiest of everybody. Like they're known for being like the flashy niggas, right? So it's actually surprising like how well Fab has been able to succeed in the style game, because Brooklyn niggas can dress too, but they're not really known the same way as Harlem niggas are when it comes to putting the outfit on. You know what I'm saying? Harlem niggas, they will show out. They are flashy, they're showy, they're glitzy type of dressers. So her coming from that cloth, it doesn't surprise me at all. But the funny thing about it is, when you're talking about she can dress up and dress down, real quick story. I don't know if you guys heard this. By the way, she is Maxim's sexiest woman alive for the most recent Maxim one.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys know the story. Yeah, the one for, I think it was 2020, sexiest woman alive. It was either 2020 or 2021.
She should get both.
But listen, no argument for me. But the funny thing is, the photo shoot, if anybody's seen it, if anybody has heard the story, she did an interview where she was talking about that outfit she wore for the cover, that white ripped off tank top with the camo pants. That wasn't planned. She showed up to the photo shoot with that on, and they had like, you know, different outfits that they were gonna put on her, but like the guy, you know, took a look at what she had on when she came in and was like, we're gonna shoot that, just wear that. Because I think she was like late to the photo shoot or something like that, and they were just like, we're gonna shoot you wearing that with the tank top and the camo pant, and it worked.
And she was good as fuck. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. It's effortless with it. She didn't even like, that wasn't even planned. That's
from
amazing.
head to toe, the woman is gorgeous, cheekbones, face. And Coming to America too, I was like, I don't even care about the movie. I'm looking at Tiana Taylor. I'm just like, this woman is just cool.
I was mad that he didn't pick Tiana in that movie. I'm just saying.
Hey, you should this movie to play out, because I think you should have just picked her.
Nigga, let me have been that African prince. Like, oh, you want him?
I'll definitely
let's go.
Tiana Taylor. I got 2 more, y'all.
Yeah, I think I know who one of them is.
I know one of them is too, I think.
Well, number 2 is a strong influence for me, because number 1 is my number 1. But number 2 is someone who could not be forgot, because they were a strong influence in fashion way before being a strong influence in fashion was even a thing. They dressed how they wanted to dress, wherever they were, what they did, and they are an icon, in my opinion, when it comes to men's style, and that's going to be fucking Andre 3000.
Wow.
Zodiac brother.
Wow.
How can
Yes.
you forget Andre 3000, y'all?
Wow.
I didn't even have that in my head, and
I don't even think I have to.
I
explain
briefly did
Andre 3000.
when the show first started. Like I can't remember one of the ones that you had named towards the end. I kind of, for some reason, I had in my mind like I feel like Andre 3000 might be there, but I completely forgot my own thought that he would be in there. I didn't. That surprised me right there.
I feel like I don't even have to explain it.
You don't.
It's Andre 3000. Nope.
And if you don't know who that is, go Google it. Stop. Pause right now. Google who he is, because it was like, who's Andre 3000? These young kids.
The epitome of I'm gonna make this a moment. The epitome of just fashion, just wear it, clothes, man. Just do what you want to do, and feel good and feel confident about it. It don't matter what you wear. And I think what I love the most about Andre 3000 and the way he's dressed is that, and this is, may sound weird coming from a gay person, but to have such an openness in the way you choose to present yourself and still have a sense of masculinity without like having to cross that cliche corny line.
Yeah.
That cliche corny line. You know what I mean? I like, okay, I'm a wear a wig, or I'm gonna wear this, I'm gonna wear that, but it's not hitting that corny line of fashion like Kid Cudi doing right now, wearing these wedding dresses and this heavy eyeliner. Like, what? Who is putting that together?
Well,
I was gonna ask you about that.
That's the epitome of I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm still gonna make a statement. It has no clue. It looks a mess, and I don't want to discuss no further than that. He looks a mess. I think it looks very bad. I think that if he is trying to make a statement, he needs to find some friends within the LGBTQ community or some stylish people to help him put together or help him push the, I'm not going to say agenda. I'm going to say push the look that he's trying to go for. But Andre 3000, for me, when it comes to male men in hip hop, has been like the more forefront of what it is of personal style.
Pushing the boundaries,
pushing the boundaries.
And let's not forget. Go ahead, Mickey.
I'll let you go first.
I was gonna say, let's not forget that that perm that he had in the Hey Ya video is still probably the best male perm that we've ever seen this side of Michael Jackson.
It was so luxurious, like it was beautiful.
Luxurious as fuck. So I feel like y'all can just guess who my number one is.
We know who number one is now that you said who number two is.
Before you leave Andre, my favorite look, and I love Andre 3000. So of course, because I love Erykah Badu, Andre and Erykah, of course, had a child together. They were together for a long time. I never find it ironic that I love both of them so much and that their styles are so eclectic and different, and that they came together and had a kid. And it's like, these are like two of like the lights, and they just like, anyway. But Prototype is one of my favorite songs. That video, every time I watch it, I am in awe, and I've seen it 1,000 times.
Really?
That is one of my.
I didn't like the video. The song's okay. I didn't like the video.
The song is okay.
The song's okay. I like it. It's all right.
You just missed it. Anyway, I'll let you go number one, but I had to.
Wait. Okay, wait. Before we go to number one, literally the only knock that I have on the Andre 3000 pick, because I love Andre 3000, so I have nothing negative to say about him as a person or his style. My only knock on the pick itself is that I feel like his style prime was way too short. Because when he first came out, he wasn't really on like the style wave. He was just dressed like any old rapper, any Atlanta dude, whatever. Then once you got towards like the mid to late 90s, he started getting into it. But then by the time, Speakerbox was like the early mid 2000s. So it was really like maybe like 96 to like 2005. And then after that, I felt like it almost like he abandoned the style game. Like he kind of just fell off the planet when it came to fashion. Like he would still make appearances in movies and in music from time to time and different things like that. But you didn't really see anything in terms of fashion or style from him for the last maybe 10 to 15 years. So I probably would have included him, but I probably would have put him more towards the tail of the list.
And I'll get you right there on why he's number two. He's number two because he's done that and absolutely no one has been able to even match what he's done. Every other male on this list has had a look been repeated by somebody else. No one, absolutely no one has repeated Andre 3000.
You sure about that?
100% sure. You name me three
I
people
was gonna
right
say,
now that have presented Andre
I can't
3000.
name you three. I don't know about three, but there's a viral meme going on right now, which you've probably seen.
Lil Nas X ain't got shit on Andre 3000. You want to know why? You want to know why? You want to know why Lil Nas X don't have shit on Andre 3000? Because Lil Nas X is gay. Andre 3000 is on this list because he's a straight man holding his sexuality and still pushing the boundaries.
And I was
true.
Gonna say,
That's
an easy thing for a gay boy to throw on a dress. I can throw on a dress right now and make a statement. That's nothing. But you know how hard it is.
I've literally seen you wear a dress before.
Huh?
I've literally seen you wear a dress before.
And I'm a gay boy.
So you're saying from like Lil Nas, if he's going all the way to the left, he's going full, like you said, off that boundary. Where Andre's like, I'm still in my masculine, but I'm pushing the boundary just enough. But you would never question, like, are you? It's like
never
no,
expect.
Yeah, I see.
But then we also, but I mean, if we're doing that in hip hop, I completely agree. But in music in itself, didn't we also see that from Prince in the 80s? 20 years before. No,
I ain't comparing. Look, I ain't comparing nobody to Prince either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Like,
if we're talking about, if you're talking about staying, keeping your masculinity identity.
Prince was a symbol. Prince was a
But
he was wearing some wild.
He was a feeling.
High heels. Booty hole chaps.
When my mom saw him in concert, she was like, he really would. I was like, Mom, he really would. She was like, yes. And people, certain states was like protesting him not to perform. If he didn't like cover his ass up, he was like, no. And it was, it was like, it's Prince. And the amount of, especially women that love and still love him, it's like no one ever questions, like, it's Prince. He can show up and he can take my lip liner and my eyeliner. It used to be like, oh my God, you wanna go get drinks? Because
Prince is the only dude in history that can show up wearing high heels and steal your woman.
Right. That's your wife. Not even woman, your wife.
Your wife, right.
Like,
your wife.
Legally, wife. Yeah. She will put her ring in her pocket.
Y'all already know who my number one is, right?
Yeah, go ahead and say it.
I know who it is.
You know who it is.
Bad girl Riri herself.
I knew it. I knew where this was going.
and I just wanted this to be clear that the reason why that she is number one is because it's been that way from beginning to now. Never let off, never stopped, continue changing, continue elevating. Every time that bitch did something to her hair, every other bitch in the world did the same thing. The bob, the red hair,
the pixie cut.
Good girl gone bad.
I got a pixie cut because of her.
Let's not even talk about her music. We're not even going to talk about her music. We just talk about the way that she chooses to step out the house when paparazzi sees her. What iconic looks. What? Let's talk about her Met Gala look when she was the only one that was like, oh, y'all want American fashion? Okay. I'm gonna show up like a New York nigga in a big ass puffer coat and some boots.
Oh,
what's more American than what Rihanna had on at the Met Gala for Black America?
Okay, I will say this though. I'll give Rihanna huge credit points for experimentation because part of being a style icon is experimenting and trying different looks. However, I withhold the right to say she does not always land every look, in my opinion. There's been a couple Met Gala looks that she's come out with that I've been like,
my least favorite Rihanna look is the yellow dress from the Met Gala. That is literally on my.
Point that out. She came out dressed like an omelet.
One of my least favorite looks by her, but
she came out dressed like an omelet.
But to combat that being my least favorite look, it was my least favorite look simply because of the color palette, which I can understand someone else seeing the color palette and thinking something different. However, she did hit the nail on the head when it came to the theme. She hit the mark. She didn't look good in my opinion because I don't like the yellow and the red. I just don't think it was a good idea. But I feel like Rihanna's one of the girls.
her hair was red, right?
Yeah, her hair was red, and then she was on the red carpet, and then she had on yellow, and then it was the shade of yellow.
It was clashing.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It was one of those marks that it was. Rihanna's one of the girls that she say fuck it. So probably was one of those things that looked good when she was not on the red carpet, and then when soon as she steps on the red carpet, girl, it was too late.
And when you saw that wide shot of her with the whole train in the dress with the red, yeah, I was like, but it's Rihanna, so like you said, she pulled it off. But if she probably could do it again, she probably would have been like, I'm not going to do it.
Let's be honest. Because we're going to do the same thing that we do to Beyonce. We're talking about we're fans of hers, but we're also honest about when she may potentially fall short on something. We got to do the same thing to Rihanna, okay? She did not pull that off. She did not pull that off.
Rihanna.
Well, I'm saying in that moment, like, you know, she owned it, but it was like...
My other thing with Rihanna, she is number one, and she is number one because she is Rihanna. But I think that it's best because she's number one to only speak about the moments that I felt like weren't her best. How about that? So another moment for me with Rihanna was that she changed so many of her looks during that time period, which was such an iconic thing to do. But for me, it was really looking at it now and just seeing like, there were some moments within her hair journey that weren't the best. Like, girl, that red was ghetto as hell.
I said that 10 years ago and everybody laughed at me.
That red was ghetto as hell. However, it was a moment. It was still a moment. And it was all about, I think it was one video, she had did Man Down. That was rum, pum, pum, pum. Shot a man down. She had the red hair in that one, right? And the red hair looked good in that one, right? And then she did another one that was like, I think it was, we found a love and a hope. And the red that she had in that one was like, nah, girl.
It was like ragdoll.
It was ragdoll hair. And it's
like, it was, I think it was I don't know if it was her hair, if it was a wig. It didn't look moisturized and, you know.
See, the thing is like with her, with the thing about with her, why like she should absolutely be in the top 10 list. I wouldn't have had her number one is because to me, she's either really top tier or really failing. Like I feel like there's not a lot of in between with her. So like it's hard for me to put somebody at number one. And like I said, style is about experimentation. I'll be the first to say that. I know not every outfit I've come up with, people have liked. I know I've probably looked back at someone and be like, that was probably a fail. But I feel like to be number one, you've got to be somebody that's just consistent at least 80% of the time. You know what I mean? Like,
this is why Rihanna is number one. This is why Rihanna is number one. The reason why I connect Rihanna being number one is because I feel like she's one of the only people on the list who I feel like dresses like how I dress. Rihanna's the kind of person where her closet is filled with one-of-a-kind, dope, interesting pieces. She doesn't do the styling thing. She doesn't do the borrowing thing. She doesn't do any of that. I'm gonna wear it real quick and give it back. No, Rihanna owns all her shit.
She's a billionaire, right?
Right. So what I like about her is when you see her paparazzi shots of her with her glasses on, just casually walking down the street, she wearing something that a basic bitch couldn't have even if they wanted to.
I feel that. There was one look, and I can't remember where it was.
And I'll compare her to everyone else on the list. I'll compare her to who was the next female on that? I'll compare her to Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor, when she chooses to dress down, she chooses to dress like a tomboy. To me, it's dope because she can do that, and I think it's dope how which kind of shoes she chooses to wear, how she chooses to stay relevant within the sneaker game and still relevant within streetwear. Whereas for Rihanna, girl, are we really having this conversation about the designers that she chooses to wear and the pieces that she chooses to pull out?
Oh no, the designers that she wears is top 10.
Yeah,
she's glam, very luxury.
Glam.
There's one look that she had, and I cannot for the life of me remember where it was, but she wore, it was either like, it was really dark. It was either like a dark blue or dark gray, or maybe even kind of like a matte black. But she had like a silky satiny suit, like a full suit, like blazer and pants. That was like a really dark color, and it was shiny because, like, again, it was silk or satin. And she had the sunglasses on, and she had like a short black cut with like some bangs in the front. That I will say was fire. One of the best looks that I've ever seen her wear. And I'm mad I can't remember where I saw it, where I saw the picture of her. But like that was one of the times where I'm like, that's how you need to be dressing Rihanna. Like Rihanna, she either hits the target to the T, or she like yeah, what she misses. But with the times when she hits, she be hitting.
And for me, it's one of those things where it's like style is all about one of those things where I feel like even when she hits the market, when she hits the target, she hits it. And I feel like when people say that she misses it and she missed it, it's one of those things was like, baby, you gotta look closer. She might have missed it for you, but we gotta dissect what we're looking at. It's the same with every other person. If someone could look at a fit that Fabulous has on and be like, I don't really fuck with it, and be like, oh baby, you missing the details, baby. This is the custom paint job on this Lamborghini with the doors open. This ain't something you can just get off the lot. And so are these shoes. You know what I mean? Some people don't have a knowledge of what they're seeing. And for me, looking at Rihanna, she's the only girl and the only person of style where I look at what she's wearing and I'm like, you have to know fashion to know what she's wearing. And that's what makes her style so dope.
I don't know if you can see.
I can't see that picture.
Nah, I can't see that.
But her hair is long, and it's
they ain't it. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think it was a shortcut. I'm pretty sure it was a shortcut.
Okay,
so I need to know who was not on my list that needed to be on my list.
I have a couple of oddballs. Okay, some people that you probably wouldn't have immediately thought of. Well, okay. One that I personally would have had on my list and one that I wouldn't have, but I'm still surprised you didn't say it. And the one that I'm surprised you didn't say, and I get why, because now that I look at your list, it's all black, which I love. Black excellence, hey, black power. I'm all here for it. Let's just go. But I'm surprised you probably didn't list Lady Gaga somewhere on there.
I don't like Lady Gaga style.
Ooh.
And that's why he didn't have it. That clears it up. There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen.
My thing is with Lady Gaga in the way she chooses to dress is that how can I put this? Lady Gaga always had money. So she's not one of those people who came up in her music career and had all of this and, decided to wear these crazy high-end pumps and do all these crazy things because, she's always had these grand ideas and never really had the lifestyle to do it. No. Mm. Lady Gaga grew up with money. She had money. She went to a very good school that taught her how to listen to music and play music and sing. She grew up with that. She grew up always having it. So when I see her going out and dressing, I'm like, if Rihanna didn't have money, if Lady Gaga didn't have money, she probably would dress like a regular girl. When I see Lady Gaga style, I just see like, you know what? And I feel like y'all are straight, so you really wouldn't really get it. But Lady Gaga gives me drag queen.
Oh yeah, I think she purposely does that sometimes.
Drag.
Yeah. And that's where her like original fan base kind of popped off. Yeah. You know what I mean? She was big with like the gay scene in New York, the drag scene in New York. First, that's where she got a fan base when like early, 2008 or so when she like first started getting buzzed. That was her people. So I'm not surprised at all to hear that.
Yeah, it's too much. When I think and as you say that, I'm thinking about like some looks that she's casually worn and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not given. No.
Okay.
But you saying from the jump, that's why you're like, in the beginning, because the street, going back to what you said about the street style, she wouldn't, if she had the resources and money, she wouldn't have had to figure out how can I take rainbow and make it look like, it's like to style of the dresses. So I get what you mean.
It's looking at her and seeing all her fashionable moments that she made, and it's being like, okay. Like I still look at the meat dress. Like for instance, her meat dress when she wore the dress of meat, and I was just like, for me, it was one of those things where I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be some real shit because y'all might laugh at me. It was me looking at them like, so you got someone to make this meat dress out of you, made this meat dress for you. And that's what you chose to do?
That's all.
Like I'm thinking about cuts of meat, and I'm thinking about different ways you can cut meat, and I'm just like, is that what y'all came up with?
Just threw it on her. It wasn't like in a Creative.
Y'all didn't do like no shaved ham and then like gave her a little fold, a little rouging or nothing.
Or
like y'all just slapped
like
the meat on there, and I'm like, and that's supposed to be, and I'm supposed to be gagging at that
because it's meat. It's like not enough.
There's somebody that I personally would have had probably on my list that I feel like is super underrated that nobody really talks about enough, specifically when it comes to style. He probably would have been lower, like on my list, probably towards the end, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. But Bruno Mother effing Mars, yo. This little dude, Hawaiian or Puerto Rican or I don't know what ethnicity he really is. This dude dresses, and you gotta like if you actually pay attention to him. I know I mentioned his name earlier when it came to Zendaya. If you really pay attention to what he's wearing, and you talk about people that are obsessed with an era, bruh, nobody is giving soul vibes when it comes to their clothes. Nobody's giving funk vibes to their clothes better in the 2010/2020s than Bruno Mother effing Mars. Okay, I'm not surprised that you didn't say him because I feel like most people don't pick him. I feel like I'm one of the only one who ever brings his name up when it comes to style. Obviously, a lot of people talk about his music. He's one of the best music artists out right now. But when it comes to style, Bruno be low key dressing. Bruno be fresh as a mug.
I like that you brought him up because for me, it's like, okay, I can see him top 15, top 20. And the reason why I will also give him that, I would give him his flowers because of his performances and how he's maintained the fact that he's a performer even when he's not on stage. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And you can see that from someone that's a performer where it's just like how the kind of suits that he chooses to wear, the cuts, the colors,
the hair.
You know what I mean? And what's dope is, and once again, he falls under that, small guy category where just like, oh, you can probably get these suits real good. You probably get somebody to make you a tailored suit real quick. You probably a size 32, 30, something like that, real small.
I ain't been a size 32 in a good decade.
Yeah, so it's like, I do agree that he falls on that list. I just think that I will have to see more. I'll probably have to pay attention to him now just to be like,
yeah, you gotta start.
But I agree with what I've seen, like performance wise, in video, because I'm a video person. I always love watching videos. So video style to me, that's how I would remember someone being like, oh, because in this video, you had this on. Like
the videos, man. Go back and even look
in my mind.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We're talking about how he's real good on like 70s fashion, but even when he wanted to give you that 90s vibe with the dripping in finesse video with Cardi B, go back and rewatch that video. Like this dude was giving, like he nailed that In Living Color vibe to a T. You know what I'm saying?
How old is Bruno Mars? Is he 30? No.
Yeah, I think he's early 30s.
Okay, I thought he was in his 20s still. Okay.
No, he's definitely early 30s. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And I have a couple of other people as well, but I'm gonna let Mickey go because I want to touch on. I want to see who she names.
You hit everyone. I told you this one before we started. I said Tracy Ellis Ross, and I said her.
Oh,
I said her because she, to me, and this even goes back to, and again, this is TV, this is a show, but even her own Girlfriends.
Yeah.
And out of all of their style, to me, hers was always like not too much, but not too eclectic. Cause like Lynn was like hippie all the way over, where it's like some pieces are okay. But then Joan as a character, her style, her hair, the way her accessories, like I was like, I probably would be Joan, right? And then now in her, because I think she's like in her early.
I think she's like 50.
Is she 50? I was saying she's like early mid 40s. That woman is gorgeous outside of age. On top of, and I'm a hair person. Like when it comes to like, if your outfit is 210, it's to 10, right? And your makeup is done, but your hair not right, baby. I can't do it. I can't.
You old school black woman, yeah.
I'm old school, and that's just because that's how I was raised. Like you can't have all of these things. You get the top of your head because it's like, especially for black women, that's our crown. And I'm not saying that to say that hair is everything, because there's women who have shaved their head bald and are still slaying with no hair, maybe some earrings or, accessories. It's not so much as the hair, but whatever style that you're wearing, it has to, of course, complement, but it could make or break. And for Tracee Ellis Ross, when she has gorgeous hair, but then too, just her own personal style, she, like you said about Offset, she shows up as herself, and I see her in what she wears, and she always looks comfortable and confident, especially being in her 40s. Like, to me, she does not miss at all.
Does not miss.
Well, I won't say she does not miss. I feel like she 95% of the time she gets it. But I've seen a couple of looks where I'll be like, this is rare. But I'll be on Instagram.
I feel like Tracee isn't on my radar because I feel like she's one of those people that she does it, but she does it for herself.
Yeah.
And it's kind of more, Tracee is one of them, like, she's a celebrity, but she's one of them, like, regular girls that just knows how to dress herself. Like, I got my 5 stores that I shop from,
These are my
Plus,
pieces.
like, 2 things with Tracee too. Number one, because she's, now middle-aged, she's definitely not old. I'm not saying she's old. She can still get it.
She's older.
But she's older. So I feel like sometimes she makes decisions that have, to do with comfort as well. Right. So sometimes she'll have an amazing look, but then like she'll have like a slight tweak that she did something for comfort, and I'll be like, I'll get it. You know what I mean? You always want to make sure you're comfortable.
But
when you talk about fashion, you know what I mean? When you talk about style, it's like, if you did this just a little bit more for the look instead of the comfort, you probably would have nailed this a little bit harder. So that's my only thing with her sometimes. And number 2, it's not a knock for me, but just going back to what Klyde said, the reason why I feel like he might not have thought about her is because he was just talking about people who probably would have dressed that way with or without money. And then it's like he was talking about Lady Gaga. She grew up with money. Tracee Ellis Ross, her mother is Diana Ross. You grew up with money.
She wasn't shopping at Rainbow. I guarantee you she was not.
And some people, at a certain age group, might even argue that maybe Diana was a bigger style icon than Tracee was. But I don't know.
Would say that, and I'm sure she would too, as her mom is Diana Ross. Like,
it's Diana Ross.
Yeah, it's like you wouldn't even try to be like, I'm gonna outdo my mother. No, you're not. You gonna
like if you're talking about waking up with Beyonce as your big sister, imagine waking up with Diana Ross as your mom.
As your
mama. But again, I do have a couple of names that I thought about as well as we were thinking here. And
one more.
Oh, go ahead.
Lori Harvey. Now, that goes back. Wait, let me say it. It goes back to your rule of not cutting the camera off. It goes back to your rule of having money from the beginning, right? This is me just visually watching, right? I have yet to see her wear something that was not fitted to her, tailored to her, didn't compliment her. She always looks fresh. She always looks natural. She has a beautiful natural body. I think she's very pretty. But going back to your rule about the street fashion and having to, accessorize, learn how to do things without the resources of being able to go to, Nordstrom's or Lauren Taylor, something like that. She had that advantage. So I know why you didn't choose her. But aesthetically, from looking at her, I've never seen her and been like, I'm like, dang. Skin, again, hair, she's always just polished. So I appreciate beauty, especially in Black women. I'm like, I give claps and credits when they are due. So now I'll let y'all go.
Okay, you done?
I'm done.
If you were gonna go that route, because I was listening to you even though my camera was off, if you were gonna go that route of like her generation of like the younger Black women, the up and coming scene now, there's a few names you could have picked above her. Ryan Destiny, Justine Skye.
That's what Ashley said. She said Ryan Destiny, and I forgot her. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're right.
And, I mean, even as far...
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are hip to her yet, but there's a singer out there named Kirby, who, when I tell you, She got not only the style but the body to go with it.
Like
oh
Kirby,
my
like
gosh.
the character from
Kirby. I think her Instagram is like Sing Kirby Sing or something like that.
Oh, she's very pretty.
Oh my gosh. Like she is up and coming. I feel like if she manages to really blow up within the next 10 years, people are going to be talking about her as a style icon.
She has a gorgeous body. Because I'm watching
she's out there.
Just hips and
hips, so much hips. Oh my
Lord.
hips.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I will look her up, but I can't right now.
Look her up. That's y'all's homework out there. Go look up Kirby if you haven't.
Kirby
Would say that again?
Kirby
no,
Sing
I
Sing.
think she's beautiful.
Kirby Sing or something like that. I don't remember. But a couple of names that I was thinking of that I'm surprised you can't really have a style conversation without mentioning at least one of them. And again, I feel like the main reason is because I feel like Klyde, I don't know if you purposely did it or not, but your entire list was black, which I'm not mad at. I love it. But if we're going outside, if we're just, taking a little tiptoe outside of the African-American style icons, there are some out there of some other ethnicities. For example, how did we have a whole fashion episode without once mentioning Jenny from the Block? How did we not talk about Jennifer Lopez for style icon? If we're talking about style icons, how did nobody bring up Jennifer Lopez? Not even once.
Look at Klyde's face.
I mean, you're talking about iconic red carpet looks. She's got a bunch of them. You know what I mean? She's like Versace's best friend. You know what I mean? Like she really put them on the map with a lot of people. You know what I mean? She personally gets, like, I remember watching an episode on some TV show. The woman who I don't know if she still runs Versace or not, but has been running Versace, the face of Versace. I can't remember her name. Please forgive me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. She had like her personally giving her dresses to wear for runway events, like in person. Like you know how important you gotta be to have Donatella Versace
come to you
on like speed dial, like hey, let me get some dresses for this upcoming runway, this upcoming award show. Like this is VIP treatment. You don't just show up and have that Donatella Versace woman just show up and be like, take this dress, I want you to wear that. You know what I mean? Like that's real upper echelon exclusive stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like she might not have got her just due in some type of way here. Not to say she would have been number one. I'm not saying that. But on a top 10 list, you can make an argument she might be in there sliding in at like 8. You know what I mean?
I was like, no, not today.
None? No love for Jenny from the Block? Oh my goodness. Wait a minute.
The reason why Jennifer Lopez does not get love from this top 10 of style is because when she was in music, can you even think of anything she was wearing?
Like in her videos?
Just in general. When you think of iconic look, or you think about style, because that's what this is also about. This is about style. I really don't feel like Jennifer Lopez has anything original about the way that she presents herself. I just don't.
But when you talk, what was it? When you think about the last 20, 25 years, can you name a single look that's more iconic than the green dress? Than the green Versace dress that she wore on the runway?
You mean
single one that's more famous?
You mean those two layers of chiffon that was held together by a key ring and a seam in the back?
Oh, so wait a minute.
It was the key ring for me. Not
the chiffon that he readily identified the material.
For me, that was one of those things. You got to think that was an iconic moment in fashion for some people because of just the moment. It wasn't actually the dress, because when she repeated the dress, it didn't even have the same feel. Like the whole moment.
I think the dress, to me, it was. You didn't. What year was that? Like 2000.
It was real early 2000s, I think.
7, 8, somewhere around there, you weren't seeing women at that point. Of course, now, because we have social media, you know, everybody, no shade to them. Everybody got everything out. That dress for red carpet and then how she looked in the dress, to me, her body in that dress put that dress on a level where, like Klyde is saying, it wasn't really like the material and like the design. It was her body in that dress and that moment.
I'm talking about her in that dress.
Right. And then
And for
everybody
me-
else compared to her, nobody, you can't think of who else was on the red carpet that night. It was
And
all
then
of-
she's it. So she stole
That
the
was it.
entire. She made a whole generation of
For
guys
that
go
night.
through puberty like that. Like a whole generation of men hit puberty that night when they saw J-Lo wearing that.
And you know,
cells
and
went up
not
like
even trying to be
10%.
funny, y'all can kill me with this one. When it comes to style and red carpet looks, I'm gonna pull Lil Kim before I pull J-Lo.
Wow. How did we not?
Put Kim on the list?
How did we forget about Lil Kim?
Oh, I didn't forget Lil Kim. You said top 10.
You're right. No, but I'm just talking about like for honorable mentions. She wouldn't have been in my top 10 either. But
I would
just honorable mentions.
I would have had to have Lil Kim before J-Lo because for me it's Lil Kim's one shoulders lace jumpsuit with the pasty over the nipple.
with the boot.
That Diana Ross said play
That
with.
Like,
that was iconic. When you were talking about what was the more iconic look than Jennifer Lopez wearing that, Lil Kim wearing that.
Yeah.
That's close. I don't.
It was. You want to know
it's
why?
like a tie.
Because it was
It's
the
like
first
a tie.
time anyone has even thought about walking the red carpet and looking
with
like
their boob
that.
out. Right.
Yeah, for real.
Because it was that moment of like, is her breast really hanging? And it's nothing.
Yeah, it's out.
And then
It was
I
perky.
was like,
And it was perky.
And it was perky. It was beautiful. But what I would give to J-Lo is the influence that she has had on other people. You know, I'll give her that. But I honestly, you know, me and someone else had a conversation about like, okay, let's have the real conversation about J-Lo now. Okay, can she sing? No. Can she dress? Not really. Can she dance? Yes. Does she look good?
Absolutely.
Yes. That's
She's
just
a great
about
dancer,
it.
phenomenal dancer.
Yeah,
I'm
acting
gonna give credit
skills,
when credit
depending
due.
on the role.
I'm gonna give you credit when credit is due. I gotta give you your just due to you. Yeah.
Because Klyde will stand on a hill. If there's one thing he's gonna do, it don't matter if 50 people against him, he's gonna stand on a hill.
Baby, when I tell you,
By yourself if you have to.
every time I've been put in Facebook jail is because I stood on a hill and there's a whole bunch of people arguing with me and I'm arguing with every single one of them and everyone's sitting here trying to argue me down. I'm like, y'all really think y'all trying to get me off this hill? I will cuss all y'all out.
All you hear is clickety, 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 click like, God, you still going?
Hey, everybody.
I'm not done.
All y'all can get this smoke.
Listen, a couple of quick other ones that nobody said anything about. Again, maybe not top 10 material, maybe so depending on who you are, but at least honorable mentions. Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott is an honorable mention because she is my strong ass number 11. I'm gonna tell you, Missy Elliott was gonna be written down, but the only reason why I didn't write down Missy Elliott was the reason why she actually wasn't in the top 10 and why she will come in for me as a strong number 11 or number 12 was because this is a woman who influenced hip hop and fashion without having to sell her body.
Sex, yeah.
No. Missy Elliott was definitely selling sex in those lyrics.
Yeah, some of them songs, there was some of them songs she was freaky with.
But I mean, like, as far as like,
look, Missy Elliott said, "Not on the bed, let me on the sofa. Oh, before you come, I need to shave my chocha. Do what you want, or you will or won't ya. Go downtown and eat it like. Come on."
There's a whole song. If y'all had the Under Construction album, which I did, there's a whole song on there where she this is a family show. P word, don't fail me now.
Don't fail me now. Gotta turn this brother out.
Gotta turn this nigga out.
Nobody else.
Listen,
man.
So she was selling sex, but for her body. Mickey's right. For her body, she wasn't selling. Who else wore a trash bag on this whole countdown? Nobody else. She's the only one I can think of that wore a trash bag.
And what I love about Missy Elliott is because she knew that it was all in how she say it. what she says, how she uses her words, how she talks to the camera. That's what made her alluring. She knew. And when you go back to most of Missy Elliott's music videos, when she get that close-up frame of her rapping, you can't tell me that she wasn't sexy. You can't tell me that she wasn't sexy. She had on all clothes. She probably had on something. It was probably some crazy shit. But when she in that camera talking to you like this,
you was like, okay.
You like,
keep your eyes on my bump. You think you
yeah,
this?
Like,
don't
okay. And like,
don't forget who also from Virginia.
Missy Elliott was one of those girls
she
that
is
you went
from
to
Virginia.
school with.
Thank you.
Missy Elliott's one of them girls from the hood. One of them girls you went to school with. That always dressed like a boy. You thought she was gay. And then one day she hit you with the "so what's up?" And next thing you know, she hit you with some blood. And she like, "Hold up, bitch, you nasty girl."
That song you skipped that you later found out was fire.
Yeah, see that song you skipped that you later found out. But that's on some dude stuff because you know most guys see girls that present themselves like that and may think like, oh, well, she might not be as sexual or she might not. It's like, well, that's just her presentation. You know what I mean? Like someone's sexuality really doesn't come from how they dress, you know? And I think that Missy Elliott and how she chooses to rap and how she chooses to present herself was that. Because Missy Elliott made a lot of nasty songs. Come on, we had 1 Minute Man, Get Your Freak On. We had a lot of those songs that she didn't have her ass out. She didn't have her titties out.
But
she didn't have her body out. None of that. She still was fly, though. She was still fly, though. Missy Elliott was that girl in the sick ass jumpsuit with some kicks type shit.
Yep,
like
absolutely.
Right. With the bedazzle. She always had the bedazzle on with the little glitter.
Yeah.
I got just 2 more quick names I'm gonna mention, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here because we've been on this way longer than I thought we was gonna be. I thought this was gonna be a short episode, everybody. 2 more quick names. Number 1, again, when we were talking about people, if you just tiptoe outside the black fashion spectrum, this is somebody that I personally have always found to be pretty stylish. I don't know about anybody else, but I've heard her name come up on a couple of those E shows or different things like that. Gwen Stefani. Gwen Stefani be dressing. She's a little older as well. I think she just turned 50 or something like that, or she's late 40s, something like that. You know, she's had some looks out there. You know what I mean? She can.
I give it to Gwen. I give it to Gwen because now I'm thinking about this iconic white dress look that she wore one time. And I'm thinking about what I love the most about Gwen Stefani was how she had so many like different looks that she could pull from that will always surprise you which one she chose.
Yes.
It was
versatility.
Her being like this boyish rocker in her music videos and then showing up on the red carpet completely Hollywood glam from head to toe. You know what I mean? So I would definitely give her that. I know I made a facial expression when you first made a name, but when I really
thought to think about it, she's a sleeper pick.
Think about it.
Go back and watch some of those old music videos. The eclectic, the versatility be different.
I got a few songs.
No, go ahead.
I got a few songs by hers. I got a song by her and Pharrell on my phone that every time I listen to it, I'm reminded like, yo, these were probably like the 2 dopest people of the time during that era. You know what I mean?
I feel like I know the song you're talking about too.
Yeah, I had downloaded the song by mistake, and it wasn't the song I was looking for. When I listened to it, I was just like, "Oh yeah, I remember this song." And I'm like,
"Yeah,
oh, okay.
It wasn't that big of a hit." But
no, it wasn't that big of a hit.
I remember it. I remember that
too.
All right,
can I have it like that? And then the last one, yes, she's definitely, I think, somebody, in case y'all ain't hip at home, go check out some of Gwen's old looks.
Go check out Gwen.
The last one, I feel like people are going to laugh at now, but at the time period, if we just focus on a particular decade, 90s Will Smith should get more love in the fashion game than he gets. And he's been very much dad dressing the last, 10, 15 years or so. But specifically 90s, even going into the late 80s, you know what I'm saying? Honestly,
I'll give you the 90s. I'll give you the 90s summer. He was the influence for the 90s summertime clean cut guy vibe. He was that guy that was like, oh no, I'm not in the streets. I'm not a hood nigga, but I'm still out here. I'm out in these streets. I'm still out here having a good time. giving out positive vibes. It was a lot of the streetwear, but still colorful. It was the bright colored shorts. It was the snapback hats.
Hats. There we go.
It was the truck. If I'm not mistaken, it was specifically the trucker hat. If I'm tripping, I can't think. It wasn't a trucker hats. It was a snapback.
I would also argue, and somebody's more than welcome to try to prove me wrong. I would argue that outside of Michael Jordan himself, nobody has been more influential about making Jordans popular in Black culture than Will Smith.
I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. Especially in the beginning. Especially. Yeah.
Because people talk about Martin, like Martin had he had his nice little Jordan game as well. But Fresh Prince was first.
Yeah.
Fresh Prince came out before Martin did.
But as a kid growing up, I was watching Fresh Prince. I wasn't watching Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't really start getting into Martin until I was like
older. Yeah, I feel like Fresh Prince was more of what I should have been watching, and that's where that influence came from. So yeah, I would definitely give it to Will Smith.
Yeah, just on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air alone.
So many great looks in that show.
When you said Will Smith, my first thing that popped in my head was the first Bad Boys when he came. And again, this is Will Smith. Like you said, we would be like, it's like, what was Mike Lowry?
Will Smith was that dude for a good 15. Well, I mean, he's still the dude now. I still love Will Smith, but Will Smith was like that nigga.
I'm just saying that when the words got out about, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, how Will Smith can possibly be into some other things, I was just kind of like, that. So, I don't really like to talk about my sexuality. I don't really like talking about my sexuality on camera and stuff like that, but it was one of them things. It was that. And then he had released a video of him working out at the gym, and he was working out on the gym the wrong way. I was like, look, let me tell you something, Will Smith.
Don't make me come to look. Don't make me come I ain't fine.
And I'll just say this for the camera because a lot of people don't know this about me. So I'll say, like, I'm a gay guy. But I see myself as a guy. I don't see myself as a girl. So when I say that, I look at men and approaching men the same way that a man sees a woman. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like when I'm thinking about thinking about a guy, or I'm thinking about in the same way that a man is thinking about a woman, as opposed to me being a female and having a feminine nature when it comes to a guy and being all like cute and flirty and shit. It's like, no, I'm the kind of shit that like, yo, what's good, bro? Like, let me get your number real quick.
Hey, so my
nigga, like, we gon'.
I told you, didn't I say it earlier? Class got like just the perfect combination, the sprinkling of gay season.
But that honestly, it came from, and I can just like, that's a little bit personally, like it took for me to hang out, like, cause I've been gay and I really haven't had like straight male friends until I got to college. So when I got to college and I actually had my first like circle of straight male friends who accepted me as a gay guy, it really was just like, I'm tired of being around gay people and having to act like every time, you know what I mean? It's not saying that it's not who I am. It's just not 100% of who I am at the time, because my sexuality, I'm gay. But when I view myself within my sexuality, I see myself as a guy. Like, that's the role I play in my relationship. That's the role I play in anywhere else. So it's like, when it comes to like, when I was looking at Will Smith, I was like, Will Smith, you're a married man. But I met guys like you before, and I know how y'all do on the dark side. So come holler at Will Smith, because what you're doing to your wife, you ain't doing to the dudes, honey. It's the other way around. Call me. Because when I heard about the August, when I heard about that August Alsina situation, I was like, yo, this is really messy. This is really messy, solely because I knew that August Alsina, was a male escort right before he hit the scene, solely because I know people within that industry. So it was just like, yeah, I knew he was a male escort, and I know how that process goes. So it's like, yes, they probably, all three of them was probably having relations together, and it probably was given exactly what it was supposed to give. So I'm sitting here like, Will Smith, if you need some help, call me, send a SOS or something, because I can help you out. I ain't trying to be a wife. I'm trying to be your man.
We gotta go, ladies.
Me-
we gotta
So
wrap
Will
this
Smith,
up.
if you see this, call me.
And then you can style him. Then I'm gonna
I'm
style
just saying, if you go back and look, because people forget Will Smith started his career actually as a rapper even before the Fresh Prince, and a lot of people don't know. Fun fact: he was the first rapper to win a Grammy. So he
and
if you go back
and if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the first few rappers who was making work without having to curse. He wasn't
absolutely
cursing.
yeah. That's why a lot of parents, loved him, whatever. You know what I mean? The Big Willie style, I don't care what anybody says. You can call it corny now. A lot of niggas I knew had that album back in the day. Everybody bumped that album, okay?
Yeah.
But even before then, when he was like DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, like those old albums from like the late 80s, go back and look at a couple of those music videos. Like he brought some of that style into the Fresh Prince. He was wearing some of that stuff even before he got onto the show. But that show itself, you know what I mean? Even a couple of the movies he was in, these guys, he had that 90s. He was that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just a few people that could have potentially got some love from us that didn't really make it to the countdown here. But again, tell us what your list is. Tell us anybody else that we may have left off. Tell us somebody that you think should have been higher, should have been lower, should have got more credit, maybe got too much credit.
I want to know what people's number one was. Please comment, hit me up, and let me know what was top number one, undeniable. We'll argue about it, stand on top of the hill about it. Who is your number one style icon? Can't do no wrong. For me, it was Rihanna.
I feel like Rihanna's probably going to be a common answer.
Yeah. But I feel like some people can say like, oh, how can you forget,
Beyonce.
someone else who's been there? How can you?
There's going to be somebody that's talking about Beyonce. I know it.
Somebody's going to come like that. Yeah, someone's going to feel like Beyonce. Someone's going to feel like, someone's going to, hey, I am open to hearing what other people have to say. You know what I mean?
Most of your list, I completely agreed with. There was only a couple of people that I probably would have left off. I probably would have changed the order around, but as far as the people that you had in your countdown, I agree with probably like 7 of your picks.
I would say that I could have strayed away out of, being in music or being Black as far as style. But for me, I feel like being an influencer or being in the forefront of the community or being a leader, an artist, a creator, a musician, I feel like that music is a real base for fashion for a lot of people. So it's kind of like, I can't say that, an actor or an actress can fall in this category because it's like the only way we could judge them is the movies that they've been in. You know what I mean? Or I guess paparazzi style pictures or red carpets. While it's like for music artists, we have their music videos, we have their appearances and everything else they choose to performances and stuff like that. So I would say that's why most of my people
I agree. I'm not mad at that at all. There are some actors and actresses out there that probably could have gotten some more love. And again, just because we didn't mention them today doesn't mean that we think that they can't dress. This was just only some of the top of the top. There's still a lot of people out there. I think Halle Berry's a little bit underrated. You know what I mean? There's people who are in movies and that could have been easily in the discussion. They just were left out for whatever reason. So,
before we go, we should do. And Klyde, you gotta come for that one. We should do the top 10 celebrity hair. We should do the categories for hairstyle. That's the one.
You got a snap from Klyde.
Let's find us a hairstylist.
I was gonna say, I know some stylists, because that's gonna be one that's gonna be like, no, because there's so many women, and I would always lean towards Black women because we are the originators, and our style, especially hair, is so important to us. But when you go to hair, some of the people that you named today would be on that same list. Like you said about Rihanna with her. I had a pixie cut because Rihanna had a pixie cut, and I was like, I like that look. And a lot of girls did the red hair because you know what I mean. So we should
boom. And then I can bounce off of that and talk about Chris Brown. Not even Chris Brown.
We can do men too.
We can talk about the blonde patch that Wiz Khalifa did.
Yeah.
That took the
When
world
I
by
tell you my dumb ass had a blonde patch in my head, and I definitely had me and my friends that definitely went to the store and got some bleach and try to figure out which side should I do, this part?
Or we could talk about the Roscoe Dash Mohawk that had half the black community in a chokehold for a while.
I had Roscoe Dash, that Mohawk. What me when I got my hair cut into that Mohawk for the first time, and I saw myself like that. That right there, and I can talk about that in that video. That right there was really the start of who I am today. Like, because I grew up with the strict hairstyle my entire life, which is a low cut. I've always had a low cut Caesar. I never got a fade. I never got a part. That's all that my grandmother would give me. And my mom would get me.
Get a one.
So when I got to that age where I could get that haircut,
you was out of here. What?
Facts. Same. I agree. I completely agree.
That was the same year. That was the same year where his music came out. And yes, people used to say I look like him, and I used to be over it.
Wait, what? I never. Okay. And my own personal favorite, which when we cover it, Mickey, you probably already know who I'm gonna say when it comes to like guys' hairstyles. My ideal Halloween costume that I've been trying to do for about 10 years, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna say who it is when we get to that episode, whenever we schedule.
All right.
Yes. So Klyde is coming back a third time. Okay, come back and watch again because Klyde is coming back. We're gonna keep him as long as we can so we get on his nerves and he goes, no, I'm not.
I was about to say as long as he listens.
Look, I can be your style guy. Just call me. Beat me. Y'all know where to find me.
There you go. Well, guys, thanks again for watching another episode of The Good and Terrible Show. She is
Mickey.
And I am
Travis.
And peace out, everybody.